Hello, is this Netflix? Yeah, it's Tate. Yeah, no, the reunion was crazy. Couple questions for you. How old is Lauren? 30? Oh, because y'all said she was. Never mind. And how old is Shanique's dad? Also 30. No, that checks out. And did Zay and Shanique hook up? What? Alright, welcome to Tate's Take. If you're new here, we're breaking down the ultimatum. Marry or move on. The finale and the reunion. But I'm going to be talking about them like you already watched them. So be warned. If that's something you're into, hit that subscribe button for your boy. For my regular Taste Takers, let's just get back into the craziness. Alright, we're not wasting any time around here. It's the finale. We're going to find out who said yes and who got left in the dust. First up, we got Randall and Shanique. And if you didn't see my other review, or if you did see it and you need a little refresher, this is my prediction. I don't think Randall proposes to Shanique, and I was wrong. Right off the freaking bat, 0 for 1. Randall gets up there, starts pouring out his heart about how Shanique's his best friend and he loves her. Shanique's up there being all mature, talking about how much she appreciates him. Like, where was all this in episode 1? I guess it's the experience. That's the whole point of it, is growth. So Randall gets down on one knee and proposes to that thing. She, of course, says yes. She's the one who issued the ultimatum, and they ride off into the sunset. Next up, we have Jake and April. Let's roll the Tate's Take footage. Jake and April, damn. This is a tough one. I don't know. There's no way that he proposes, right? Okay, I gotta pick one. I say that he does. And I was wrong again. That's 0 for 2 for any of you guys counting at home. April comes through, and you know she became my favorite character on the whole show. A lot of growth with that girl. Gave a nice little speech. It was heartfelt. It was sincere. It was genuine. But Jake didn't give a fuck about none of that shit. He tells her straight up, he's just not ready to get married to her. Poor thing. I mean, she's 23. Like, you don't need this right now. But who am I to tell you what you need and what you don't need? So if you need this, then you deserve this. Don't let the haters stop you from doing your thing. Jake tells her, like, look, I'm not going to run off with Ray. I'm just not ready.
A few moments later.
Yeah, so Jake just literally invited Ray to run off with him. It's so crazy. And I just said that Jake doesn't like Ray anymore. What's going on with my spidey senses? I think I'm losing my touch. He doesn't propose to Ray, but he tells her he wants to propose an idea to her, which is a terrible way to phrase it on a show called The Ultimatum. You definitely got our hopes up a little bit. But yeah, he's like, I got 2 round-trip tickets. We can go anywhere in the world, just you and me. Let's see where this thing goes. So Jake's happy, Ray's happy, and April is somewhere probably talking about April. Anyway, we got the final couple here, Colby and Madeline, of course, last and probably least. And I know I'm failing, but let's just go to the footage. I think Madeline rejects Colby's proposal. Yeah, I was wrong again. So what does that bring my percentage to? All right, so I got 0 out of 3. Carry the 1, but also multiply the quantum factor. Subtract pi. Everyone knows that. Yeah, I think it's 0. So yeah, of course it was Colby who gave the ultimatum here. So we knew he was going to propose. We just didn't know if Madeline was going to say yes. So he gets down on one knee, says sorry for a whole bunch of random stuff, and she says yes. What am I gonna do? Which all of this is kind of crazy, because if it was me, I would kind of want to watch the show before I said yes. Like, I want to see the footage from those first 3 weeks. Let's just make sure everything's on the up and up. But anyway, it gets even crazier, because not only does Colby want to get married, but he wants to get married right now. This dude brings out an officiant and everything so they can straight up Las Vegas this thing. Cowboy hat and all. And she's down. So not only does she not say no to this dude, but they get married in the same freaking episode. That's pretty much the finale. Let's get into the reunion. Alright, so the reunion is episode 10 of the series, and it took place about 6 months after the show ended. And they don't waste no time getting into it, because everybody's there except one couple. It's Madeline and Colby, nowhere to be found. Is there trouble in paradise? Did she finally realize that he's toxic, or at the very least, toxic adjacent? And when she tried to leave him, he got up and slammed the door. And then when she tried to go to the back door, he threw a ninja star at her and it cut her leg, but it didn't stop her all the way. It just slowed her down. And then when she tried to go out the other door, he picked up a samurai sword and then went to... How did I get here? But yeah, no, none of that happened. 5 seconds later, they walk out and she's 7 months pregnant. Remember I said that the show ended 6 months ago? Let's do the math. Colby's out here doing Colby things. And also, speaking of Madeline and Colby, just hear me out. Is anyone else getting some you vibes from these people? Okay, I guess it's just me. Anyway, everyone's all happy for them. Nick and Vanessa got them a baby gift. Then Alexis jumps in all weird to say how exciting it is for them. And everyone's looking at her like,
what do you mean by that?
Then Nick straight up asks Nate if he's jealous of their experience. I'm like, Nicholas, this spicy already? Because we all know that Nate wants nothing more than to have kids. He's probably trying to figure out ways that he can kidnap Madeline. They go back and replay that awkward moment of Nate proposing to Lauren just 10 seconds after telling Madeline he was going to choose her. And let's not forget the look on Vanessa's face watching that proposal. Then Nick asks him like, bro, like if Hunter didn't propose, what would you do? And he's like, I don't know what I would do, but yes, you do. You would have just sat right there and played the game like everybody else. Even Chris Colin, the creator of the show, was like, yeah, we were all pretty much shocked in production. We didn't see that coming. But they also said that they didn't give them rules of what they could and couldn't do. So like whatever they needed to do to make them happy, that's what he wanted. Yeah, so like to wrap up Nate and Lauren, they finally asked like, okay, like, are y'all gonna have kids or not? Which I think it was actually Alexis who asked, which you're not the host, just relax. And Lauren gives the weirdest, driest answer. She's like, we agreed to have one. Like, blink twice if you're not okay. Please, we'll come help you. Like, it sounded so crazy, but we shall see if it happens. It just sounded a little fishy to me. And it was like the third awkward moment, and we only been in the reunion for like 5 minutes. It's getting good. Then we go over to Hunter and Alexis, and they seem to be doing surprisingly well. Like, they're still engaged. They're getting married in June. Everything seems cool. She doesn't worry about the money stuff anymore. She said living together is cool. Like, what happened? She was one reunion meltdown away from completing the holy trinity of Netflix toxicity. Bang, bang, bang. But I gotta say, she was pretty normal today. We'd love to see it. Anyway, then we get a raggedy ass transition into talking about April's pregnancy scare. Remember when she thought she was pregnant in the show? But Jake's there in terrible braids and an even more terrible blazer.
What is that, velvet?
And he says all the right things. Like, yeah, he was prepared to be a father. Of course, he would have supported the kid, yada, yada, yada. The stuff you gotta say. Then they bring up the whole going through the phone thing. Remember when April went through Jake's phone and found that video of Ray twerking and she made a big deal about it and didn't realize how crazy it was to even be going through his phone in the first place? Remember that? So yeah, Ray's there like, pull up the video. I wasn't even twerking on him. And Nick and Vanessa are like, we could do you one better. We have the actual video footage of April imitating the twerk, and we're gonna pull it up side by side to the actual twerk. And then we watch it. Look, I just watch this stuff and then I come talk about it. Like, I don't. Anyway, the verdict is she was not twerking on him. The coach's challenge is successful. Ray is not charged with timeout. Then we get Queen April pretty much destroying Jake in every debate they go on. Like, Jake is repeating the same things over and over. He's like, you know those toys you get when you're a kid and they have like their 3 catchphrases, but they just repeat the same phrases no matter how many times you push them? That was Jake. And then we find out that April's in a whole new serious relationship. Like, they already live together. I just told you that the show ended 6 months ago. April already done found a new man and moved in with this dude. And based on my internet sleuthing, it might be this guy right here. You gotta dig deep. But what about Jake and Ray? How was that trip anywhere in the world? Oh, you mean the trip that they never went on? Because they never dated after the show? Oh, it's time to run back some tape. I think Ray wants Jake to propose to her, which will be good TV if he does, but I just don't see him doing that. Something happened towards the end where I think he just stopped liking her. And I don't know what it was. Okay, so I wasn't crazy. I would like a point back, please. Or at least a half a point. And why didn't they go on the trip? Well, if you ask Ray, it's because people needed time to heal. But then Zay, who looked like he's been asleep this whole reunion, finally wakes up and he's like, yeah, Ray, why didn't you go on the trip? And Ray's like, for healing? And he's like, no, it's because we were smashing. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it's crazy, right? After the show, Zay and Ray got back together to try to make it work. What the hell? It's crazy. It didn't work out with Jake, and she tried to get that old thing back. And look at me, blaming the woman. I don't know who initiated this. Could have been Ray, could have been Zay. Anyway, then Vanessa checks Zay for that night that he didn't come home till like 8 in the morning. And he tells everybody that he was out with his friends, his phone died, and he just passed out at their place. Well, like, he's probably lying, but like, what am I gonna do about it? And also, like, Why not just charge your phone when you get to their house? Like, who doesn't have an iPhone charger? And if Zay doesn't have an iPhone, then Ray shouldn't be dating him anyway. Anyway, he apologizes kinda, I think. The whole reunion, he's kind of spitting some real facts, but like, it just gets, maybe it's the delivery. Like, you're saying some real stuff, but then that temper just be flaring up at the worst times. They ask if he's single, and he's like, yeah, I'm single, just doing me. This dude probably has like 100,000 new followers on Instagram. He's 6'6". I think he's gonna be fine. Then they ask Ray if she's seeing anyone, and she's like, yeah, I am. And she's been great to me. And I was like,
What did she say?
yeah, Ray literally came out as bisexual on the Ultimatum reunion. Why does this reunion have so much tea? It's like the Austin Tea Party. You get it because they're all from Austin, Texas, and there's a lot of tea. You get it. That's a good joke. Anyway, yes, Ray's dating a woman. Get over it. So then they recap the Zay and Shanique saga, which I think was one of the most slept on sagas, because we all know that Shanique wasn't really all the way there with Zay, and she was always pressing Randall for giving Madeline the time of day. But the question still remains, what happened under those sheets? Shanique's here at this reunion telling the world that the physical stuff between her and Zay just solidified her love for Randall. Which, like, can you imagine you hook up with someone and they're like, thank you. Because of this hookup, I am now certain that I need to be with someone else. Anyway, this is where Ray gets to turn up at Zay, because she's like, bro, how could you not tell me that y'all hooked up and at the same time you're accusing me of hooking up with Jake when nothing like that ever happened? This dude Zay is caught in 4K gaslighting this woman, and he can't handle it. So much so that he actually walks off the set in true Love and Hip Hop reunion fashion. All this damn tea in one episode. Anyway, he cools off, probably grabbed the croissant backstage. You can't stay mad if they got croissants. He comes back and he kind of apologizes and also kind of calls her a fucking idiot. I don't know, did y'all hear that? Like, the whole thing was sloppy, but just be clear that I'm Team Ray. Her dress is trash. That doesn't mean she's not right in calling him out. All right, now we finally get to Randall and Shanique, our first little happy couple from the finale. But something's different about you, Shanique. I just can't put my finger on it. That's right, folks. Shanique is totally not wearing her engagement ring. So I think it's time to show some footage. I don't think Randall proposes to Shanique, and if he does, it's not gonna last. Respectfully, it's not gonna last. It's not gonna last. Would you look at that? It appears that my spidey senses aren't as rusty as I thought. I just can't believe it. I'm speechless. I just want to thank God, you know, the Netflix PR team, my sister for always believing in me. You know, all those years of watching the trashy dating shows, Next, Eliminate, Change Your Heart, you know, the classics. Like, without y'all, like, I wouldn't even be here right now. Like, they counted me out. They saw I was 0 for 3. This means a lot. Harlem, we made it. I think I got a little carried away. They did break up for a whole 6 months, but to be fair, they are back together, but this time they're just taking it slow. That's good on you, kids. As the reunion comes to a close, we check back in with Colby and Madeline, and they say everything's all good. But something just felt a little off, and I can't put my finger on it. For example, like, they're asking Madeline, how's the pregnancy? Any pain? You all right? You good? And then Colby jumps in to answer for her like, yeah, she's good. She's a warrior. She's a trooper. But we was asking the mom. Then they ask Colby like, what's up you telling people using open relationships? Then Madeline jumps in and she's like, yeah, well, you know, he was in a different space. We're obviously not in an open relationship. Like, what's happening here? It's like they went through some weird PR training. I don't know, but I got my eye on these two. I hope it works out. They got a kid on the way. I hope it's healthy and a good little household. But in case anything goes awry, I got my clips ready. It's all so weird. They wrap up the reunion with asking some like rapid fire questions, and they ask the team like, who would you choose if you could change your partner, do the whole thing all over again? And like these girls are all saying Colby. Like, did they watch a different show than I watched? Like, this guy can't lose. Then they start talking about olive oil and coconut oil, but I can't get into that because YouTube has guidelines. So what's my take? I'm gonna give the Ultimatum 3.5 stars overall. The finale was unpredictable, and the reunion was way juicier than I ever thought it would be. It's really such an interesting show, and I really do think that everyone got something from it. Maybe not Nate, according to Hunter. Like, it's the weirdest little beef that y'all have. So yeah, on the outside looking in, we see another trashy reality dating show. But you know what Netflix sees? Another #1 trashy reality dating show. And if you're like me, I know what you're thinking. You hate these stupid dating shows, you don't know why Netflix keeps making them, and you're wondering when the hell is season 2 dropping, because you got to make sure that you really hate it. I got to check just to be sure. Like, just give me all the seasons, I'll run through those, I'll report back, let you know, just to be sure that I really hate them. You can't just watch one season and be like, oh, I hate this. Like, I gotta see some more. It's for research. And there's no date yet, but season 2 is already locked in. But this time around, it's gonna be all queer, mostly female couples. And that's pretty cool. But it's safe to say they're probably not gonna be casting in Texas this time around. But before we get to season 2, the finale and the reunion of season 1 is available right now, exclusively on Netflix. As always, thanks for checking out Tate's Take. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. In the comments, how did y'all do your predictions? You already know how I do. Like, they had me in the first half, not gonna lie, but your boy came back. Do you think that Alexis was distracting us from the fact that maybe Madeline was the most toxic person on the show? Do you think that they're gonna work out? Just tell me all the things. There's a lot to talk about here. We gonna get into it. Thanks for the time, y'all. Peace.